Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Hagenstedt map. Let's get back to reliving the glory days. Well, you know what they say, beggars can't be choosers, so maybe we'll end up having to be beggars this time, and so we can't choose what we want to do. I'm going to go this way to the restaurant this time. I'm going to go down through town. I'm going to come out around there, and we're going to go along this road. That field right there is one that I do tend to buy fairly early on. Well, I used to tend to buy fairly early on, because you can expand the field quite a bit. There's a road that goes all the way round, and that road is largely useless. It doesn't really have any particular benefit. Once we get down to the restaurant, we will take a look at the road around that field, because there used to be a shed at the top end of that field, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there is still a shed at that top end of the field, does it? Like, things change, and there may no longer be a shed there, and if there isn't, then we can just get rid of all of the road all the way round that field without having to feel guilty about it in any way, shape, or form, which I think would be rather nice. Now, it's a little bit rough coming through town right there, isn't it? There is some definite bouncy ground right there, but for the most part, it's not too bad. Why have we got park growth in the field right there? I don't remember that. Oh well. If we've got park growth, we've got park growth. It does do strange things at times, doesn't it? There's no, you know, sometimes you sort of got... There's no control over the thing. So sometimes it all ends up going horribly wrong. And yeah, and then the only way that you can kind of correct it is to buy the field yourself and manually correct it all, or try and get a contract on it. I suppose you could try and get a contract on it and sort it out that way. But I wasn't planning on doing any contracts in this series. Right, let's sit up like that, shall we? And then start unloading that one, and start unloading that one as well. So there's both of those going out. What was it I wanted to do once I got down here? Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to go here. I want to go here. Start landscaping. And I want to go up there. 87,000 euros right there. I'm going in the right direction. Yes, here. Here is where I wanted to be. Right. Oh, there is a shed. Right. There is a shed down here. Now, that means that we need to have room to be able to get out of this shed, and we want to keep that road up there. But we can plow along the edge of there, and then right down to here, and we can plow up all of that, coming out here, and we can plow up probably a plow's width out to this side as well without interfering with too much. And we won't need to do any kind of redesigning. And then, well, we kind of stop there. But, I mean, what we could do is we could, like, level out this corner just here and go right up to there and then bring that along and then get to this point right here and then bring that up like that and in so that there is room. I used to go and park the potato harvesters and sugar beet harvesters over here. But this particular shed that we've got here, I don't think that's going to be big enough for those. So I may end up not using that shed at all. That might be something that just kind of sits there. I mean, we could say that it's an old shed that's never used at all, in which case we can just plow up everything. But I don't think we will. I think we will leave the front open. We'll just have an odd-shaped corner, something like that. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. But anyway, I've got 156,000 left. I've got 2 combines with some crop in them, and I've got this tractor is whizzing up and down here. We're going to be wanting to do planting very soon, and we are going to end up sort of getting into spending an awful lot of money on fertilizers and stuff, but at the moment we do have enough to go and buy this big solar panel. So I figure we'll buy the big solar panel. We'll not pay off our loan just yet. We've got trees along there. So I was kind of thinking that we'd put a line of solar panels up there. But we can put the solar panels down here along this side. We can put them down here. I think that'll be fine. Maybe it's a little bit more shade than we want. We'll get rid of that tree eventually. We'll leave those there. And we'll put the solar panels here. And we'll end up like a field of solar panels right here. So let's start the first one. And I will put that one down right there like that. There. There is our first solar panel. We are now going to be earning 820 euros per hour from solar panels, which over a 24-hour period is 8,200, is 16,400 plus another 4. I'm trying to work this out in my head. You know what? 820. I've got my phone now. 820 times 24 is 19,680. A fraction shy of 20 grand a day return on that little investment. That's not bad. That's not 20 grand a day coming in on that. I'd say that was pretty good. That's a pretty sweet little number, that is. I'm going to take the tractor and trailer on round this way because the traffic has a habit of getting itself hung up that way. Well, it didn't that time. But it does have a bit of a habit of getting itself hung up there, so I want to try to avoid it a little bit. We'll get this one back home now, and I should have enough money to fill up the seed drills with seed and fertilizer. That's kind of what we wanted to do. So long as I can fill them up, then they're fine. If you don't have anything in them and you put the hired help going, even though it's supposed to be buying it direct, it doesn't, well, it didn't used to like it. That may be solved now. That may no longer be an issue. But so we may still have to load that 12,000, not 12,000 litres, 6,000 litres, the 12,000 euros worth, into one of these trailers and run it down, just to be able to get that extra 12 grand. But I'm hoping that we won't need to do that, as long as we can get the fertilizer and the seed. I think I filled one of them up, didn't I? I genuinely don't know if I filled up one of those seed drills or not. Anyway, we're about to find out because we're going to get up. We'll get back up there and then we can start doing some planting. I'm going to plant a little tiny field first. So sunflowers that we'll be planting. That's going to be our next crop. And that means potentially we may want to do a bit of shopping for our combines to make them go a little bit quicker in or do we? I don't know. I don't know what the situation is going to be with headers for the combines. We've got, well, I've got 2 headers in there. Are they going to be enough? Genuinely have no idea at this point. Yeah, I'm really not sure about that. Right, anyway, let's unhitch you there. 2 combines are parked up. They can stay parked up. They're not going to be in the way of anything. They're not going to hurt anything. We will go and get these 2 right here. So I'll get that one in there, and I will drag you out. What have you? You haven't got anything on you at all at the moment. So first up, I want to come around here. And I want to get fertilizer loaded up. So I'm going to bring you to there and open you up like that. And then fertilizer. Start. 2,000 litres of fertilizer. 3,500 has gone into there. So then I can close that lid down. The seed ones, they don't tend, you don't tend to do anything with them. But I'll bring you over here, and I should be able... There we go. Seeds. Load that up. And I got enough money to be able to load that one. So let's... I'll tell you what. I've got to unhitch you anyway, because we're going to load it up the... we got to hitch it on in the other direction to be able to actually do the planting. So I'll put you there, and I'll go and get the other one, and we'll put the seed into it. Fertilizer and seed into that one. And make sure that we have definitely got everything that we want. And then I've also got to make sure that I have definitely got the crops that I want. selected, because we really don't want to be making that mistake. Right, you've got a little bit of fertilizer. I remember now, we loaded up some of it, but we didn't load up all of it. So if I bring this one in over here, and I run inside in front of that right there, and then load up with seed into there. Get the seed in there first, and then we'll go back round. As the hired help is going to be doing the purchasing, I don't need to worry about it myself. So all I've got to do is bring you over to here and then load up the fertilizer that I can fit in here. I need to bring you on a bit further like that and open that one. There we go, that's better. Right, load that one up there. And I've still got 680 euros left over, and they're both completely full. So I'll unhitch you there, and I'll bring you back over here. The cultivator. Now, do I get going with the second seed drill? I think I'm going to. I'm going to bring you over to here like this. Anchor to a stop like that. And then you right here. I've got about half of that field left to do. I'm going to leave that field. I've got a little patch right there that I also want to do, which has now been dealt with. I'm going to leave that tractor with that field, and I'm not going to interfere with it. And instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the cultivator, go and put it back in the shed, and then I'll get that seed drill and I'll hook it on. I'll take that up to the top field, and I will get started on planting immediately up there. I need to just unhitch you first though. So I'll whiz you in round here, back you into this shed. Let's do this gently and carefully. There we go. Right. And there. Right. Now, we'll go and get this seed drill, and we will run that up to the top. Planter. Seed planter, I suppose. Run this one up the top, and make sure that I have got sunflowers selected. Let's not forget. Yes, I have got sunflowers selected. I don't know if I got sunflowers selected on the other one. It's probably set on corn. I don't know if I changed that one over or not. So I'll do the usual. We will do a pass on. So we'll sort of do a pass around each side. This one, I only need to do one pass around each of the sides in order to line it up correctly. So I bring you up here like that, and then stop there. And then we can bring you round like this. And then back you on up. There we go. Swing you around a bit. There we go. Hook you in like that. And it's very close coupled to the tractor, that one is. Like, that is really close coupling to the tractor. It's kind of a bit unusual. You normally have it sort of so the machine is set a little bit further back than that. That is a tiny bit unusual. But, I mean, I suppose it's not completely out of the way. And that's as much as that one folds up. So now I will bring you over here. Like this. I'm going to try and line everything up as well. There is a lot of bounce going on. This is quite cool, actually. There is a lot of bounce going on with this. A lot of bounce to the ounce with this bad boy. Let's lower you down there like that and start, and then press H. I'll let the hired help go up across there. So this tractor is able to cope with it. It's a little bit slow. It's struggling a bit to gain traction and keep it moving, but for the most part, it does actually seem to be able to handle it. And most of the land that we've got is level anyway, so it's not going to be a problem it actually being able to do the planting that we want it to do. I'll bring you on round here like that, and there we go from that point right there, and then start again. Get you all the way down to the other end of the field. And this one, I don't need to be doing any 2 or 3 passes, anything like that. I can just go whizzing across the field just once along that bottom end as well, the same as I've done along the top end, and then we can sort of leave it go. The really tiny field, we're going to have to manually do a little bit of that. I'm hoping, though, that the standard hired help will be fine on sort of working on the rest of the field there. I don't think we're going to need to worry too much about any of the rest of it. And what do we need? It's 2 layers of fertilizer, isn't it? I am going to have to wait until we've had a growth stage before I can go and do the thing of fertilizer. But fertilizer doesn't take very much at all now, does it? Not with that 45-meter spread that we've got on that fertilizer spread. That is, like, seriously impressive. And drop you down there. So I've got, if we look in here, we've got the fruit types. We've got that coming in. And then I'll have the 1 lot of fertilizer on here already. I could have, if I'd thought about it, if I'd remembered what I was supposed to do, I could have done the fertilizer before I started the cultivating. Although, I think, to be honest, that would have ended up being a more difficult thing to sort of balance than doing it this way. So it's probably better just do it this way and then wait until we've had 1 growth stage and then we're away. We've got no problems. And you, so long as the little rough bits just here on this edge don't cause us any problems, we can leave it go. And that's the little rough bits right there. We've already gone past. No, actually, there's another. There we go. That's the little rough bits. And that was absolutely fine. There's no issues there at all. Should be okay with... I'm a little bit curious about what it's going to do with this tree down here. Like, trees, they tend to have some strange effects on machinery. Like, sometimes it's absolutely fine, and then other times they just seem to go completely to pieces and cannot cope. That one was fine. And you've nearly finished over here, so we can head to you. I know we've got the combines. We'll put those away a bit later, and we'll worry about money from those, as like the grain and everything. We'll deal with all of that later. And I have got the wrong crop on here there. Sunflowers, that's better. Switch you over like this. Right, I'm not going to try and do this with the AI extension. I'm going to try and do... We'll just have to do this manually, I think, to start with. We're not going to be able to do this any other way. It's how well we're going to be able to keep to the edges of the field with this quite wide machine. Very... You know... We're not going to be wanting to keep this field all that much longer, right? We're going to start to get, as we get more land, we're going to be getting bigger machinery. And this tiny little field here, it's just not going to be worth the hassle of trying to get an Amazon condor squeezing in around on these corners in order to keep this field going. So, this field does have a limited shelf life. This one definitely has a limited shelf life. I mean... I'm also wanting, you know, because we're going to be building up root crops as well, and we're going to be doing our root crops, and we'll end up sort of buying all of the machinery for that, and you know, the whole lot. You know, we're going to be properly invested in doing those as well. We're going to want root crop storage, and that is going to end up going where this field is. So we're going to ultimately be turning this field back into a yard and putting down some sheds and stuff here. So at the moment it is gaining us a bit of extra money, but this one here is definitely not a permanent addition to our land total. That will be made up for elsewhere. And there's a little tiny bit there that didn't actually plant. Look at that. There's one bit right there. Let's yeah, it's an odd-shaped bit. It's the curve. It's the way the curve works. If I do it at that angle, it does pick it up. Now, is one pass along that bottom end enough to allow this tractor to turn round down there? If I set the hired help going here, is it going to be able to turn round on that bottom end on just a single pass, or am I going to have to put a little bit more down there as well? I think once will be enough. I mean, this is a really cool seed drill. I really like this one. I like the way that it does it as well, with the way that it sort of folds up and changes around. Are you really just... Yeah, you really are. Okay, apparently it's not going to like that, so it is a little bit light on the front end for this. Like, this is quite a heavy seed drill. There is a lot of weight to this one. It would probably help if I switched it on before we started whizzing off across the field here. Let's try that, shall we? Just for something different. There we go. Right. You can go belting up across there. And stop right there. And then I'll set the hide help going from this end. Shall we? Right. Put you going right there and H. Perfect. Yeah, there is a lot of weight on that machine, so when you're picking it up and you're turning it round, despite the fact that we've got our front weight on, it's still weighing it down an awful lot. So the front wheels are tending to slide a little bit from side to side as it's trying to sort of do everything that it needs to do. But for the most part, we are covering some serious acres with this. We are really covering a lot of territory with that one. And you down here, you've got a little tiny bit left, and then you'll be finished. Not a lot left, and that one will just end up sort of parking it away in the shed, and then that'll be done. You on this side, maybe we should go for 3. I don't actually have the money to go for 3. I'm already 1,100 euros in the hole. 5 minutes until 11 o'clock. I doubt we're going to get 820 in the like on the first hour count. It'd be the second hour count that we start getting 820 each time. It does mean, though, that one solar panel that we've got over there will ultimately result in us earning back the money that we've spent doing all of this planting. So let's go and take this canola right here, and I'll drive this combine over to the silo, and I will tip it into the silo because it doesn't look like we're going to need it. This can just stay there. It's a rather long way to go all the way down to the restaurant just for a little tiny part load like that. So we're not going to concern ourselves with it. There's 2 passes left on that field there, and then we can go and move that tractor. So that one's going to be dashing off pretty soon. Now I'm going to bring you up here. I've got to turn this combine round. Go over like that. And put that spout out. Now if we just go down the side of this one like this. There we go. That will start emptying out there. And then I'll take this one over as well. That can start emptying out. We get both of those, and then they can be parked away in a shed, because we've got to unhitch these headers, and we've got to get the other headers in. We've got the sunflower header, which goes at a fair old speed anyway, and then there's the corn header. I'm pretty sure the corn header is already an altered header anyway. I think that one has had the adjustments made so that it doesn't need to... We're not going to need to sell it and buy another one so that we've got the speed upgrades on it. I would definitely like to have the speed upgrades on anything that we use. Right, let's just go with that one and move it forward so he's out of the way a second. And then go back to that one so that I can unload it. Helper J has finished their task. You have not up here yet. That would be you down here and you over here. Right. So this one that I'm going to take and get it started on the big field over here. And then the one at the top, that one will come down and that will start working on the smaller field in a little while. So first up, you can go to that point right there. Let's just back up a little tiny bit and put you into there. Right, you're doing fine. You can fold down. Don't want you. It's that one right there that I want. I just want to, at least for a minute, move you off of this field so that you're out of the way and you're not going to be in the way of our Stara over there. What I want to do is, I think I want to get a tree shredder on, and I want to clear a couple of trees. Like, we've got these trees over here, and these are a bit more in the way than I would like. In particular, it's that one tree right there. I'm kind of thinking I want to get rid of that one. If I can move that one tree out of the way there, and then I've got a couple trees over here that will be in the way of future solar panels, so we might go and work on that a little bit while we're waiting for the planting to be done. I can just sort of start working on that in a minute. Let's leave you there and then go to this one. I want one single pass along, actually, this top end here. I'm just wondering if maybe we should do 2 passes. I don't know yet. Let's lower you in there. Let's just make sure that it does its pass along here without any trouble first. Maybe that would be enough. Maybe 1 pass there would actually be enough. I think it will. I think that should be plenty. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be absolutely fine. We'll have no issues with that whatsoever. I can feel it in my bones. So let's bring you on round here and line you up with the edge of the field, just there. Right. 1,000 minus 1,900 now. Start you up, set you down here. Yeah, see, we go whizzing up through here. Now, we've got this a few trees on the corner of this field, and they're slightly in the way. They're not terribly so, but they are a bit in the way. Like, we do still have some issues. I didn't want to remove all of the trees from the corners, but like these ones just here, they seem to be causing us a little bit of a problem. I mean, maybe we could leave the small tree and remove the big tree? I'm not quite sure. Definitely the ones that I do want to remove are going to be over where we've got that first solar panel, because I'm sort of thinking that we want to get more solar panels put down there. So if I can sort of work through that a little bit, that would be quite convenient for us. You keep going, go on right to the very end. There we go, like that. Yes, it's the little tree that's more in the way than the rest. I don't know. Maybe I will leave this one just for a minute, and we'll see how it goes. Because I can, like, once I do, I manually go around the edge of the field anyway, and this is kind of like standard plan for this, because we push out to the very edges of everything that we can get to, so you kind of need to nurse it around the edge, just so there's enough room for your people to turn round, and then after that, you can just leave them to it. So we can bring you back over this way. Like that, and then bring you up to there, and now I can just leave you to it. See, that one there, he's now got the big field, and he'll be absolutely fine. I got complete, total faith in his abilities. This one up here has already planted this field. That's looking absolutely wonderful. We've got, yeah, that's all done up there. We don't need to worry about the lime or anything along those lines. That's growing. Growth there. So we've got sunflowers in here. There's sunflowers there. They're ripe. That's done. I've just got this little bit down here to do. That was the other thing I was looking at. Was field 13 over here. That's 176,000 to buy. And then... Well, unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. And for those of you wondering, the paid promotion notification that came up at the beginning of the video is because in the description down below, you will find a link to Fanatical. I have an affiliation with them. If you use that link, I will earn a small commission on anything that you choose to purchase. But that is all we have got time for, so if you have enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well, that would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, this is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.